High blood pressure can often feel like this thing that just happens to you, right? It's just a number on a machine, and it feels like you've got very little control over it. But what if I told you that one of the most powerful tools for fighting back is already in your kitchen, waiting for you 3 times a day? Okay, let's dive into this. First, let's just get a sense of the scale here. We're talking about hypertension, or high blood pressure, and it affects about 1 billion people all around the world. It's often called the silent killer, and for good reason. It can quietly damage your body for years before you even notice any symptoms.
That number is absolutely staggering. But here's the good news. We are not powerless. Not even close. This whole explainer is built on this really powerful idea that simple, smart changes to what you eat and drink can have a huge impact on your blood pressure.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to really understand the problem itself. Then we'll break down a scientifically proven eating plan called the DASH diet. After that, we'll look at some specific drinks and foods that can help, and we'll wrap up with a list of things you might want to watch out for. All right, let's start at the beginning. What is actually going on inside our bodies when we have high blood pressure? And more importantly, why is it such a big deal? I want you to think of your heart as this incredibly hard-working pump, and your arteries are the pipes. Well, hypertension means the pressure inside those pipes is just constantly too high. Over time, that forces your heart to work way, way harder than it should, and it can damage the walls of those arteries. That's why it's a huge risk factor for some of our most serious health issues. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. And we're not talking about some fad diet you see online. We're talking about a well-researched, flexible, and really effective way of eating that was specifically designed to tackle hypertension. So let me introduce you to the DASH diet. The name really says it all. Dietary approaches to stop hypertension. This is not a quick fix. It's a balanced, long-term eating plan that came out of major studies funded by the U.S. National Institutes of Health. It's the real deal. And look, this isn't some fringe idea. The American Heart Association gives it this massive stamp of approval. They point out that its benefits are proven to work for all kinds of different people. The main takeaway here is this approach works. So what does this actually look like on your plate? It's not about cutting out whole food groups. It's really about shifting the balance. The foundation is built on grains, mostly whole grains, and a huge emphasis on fruits and veggies, like a combined 8 to 10 servings every day. You still get lean protein, but in smaller amounts, and nuts and seeds are a feature a few times a week. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, that sounds healthy and all, but does it really make a difference with my blood pressure numbers? Well, the answer from the original research was a huge, resounding yes. And this right here shows you the impact. It's amazing. In that first major study, the folks with hypertension who followed the DASH diet saw their systolic blood pressure, that's the top number, drop by an average of 11.4 points. Their diastolic, the bottom number, dropped by 5.5 points. I mean, these are the kinds of changes you see with medication, but achieved just through food. But it's not just about what you eat. It's also about what you drink. So let's talk about some power sips. These are drinks that are packed with compounds that can actually help lower your blood pressure. Here are 5 of the heavy hitters, all backed by science. We've got these vibrant juices like beet, tomato, and pomegranate. And then there are daily staples you might already have, like green tea and skim milk. Each one works in a slightly different way to help your heart. So how does this even work? Well, let's take beet juice, for example. The secret ingredient is something called dietary nitrates. Your body is amazing. It converts these nitrates into a molecule called nitric oxide. And what nitric oxide does is it helps your blood vessels relax and open up, which lets blood flow more easily and brings down the pressure. Pretty cool, right? And it's a similar story with green tea. A lot of its benefits come from antioxidants called catechins. These little compounds also help your blood vessels work better. And this isn't just one study. Big reviews of multiple studies have confirmed that if you drink green tea consistently over the long term, it's linked to a real drop in both of those blood pressure numbers. Okay, let's zoom back in from our drinks to our dinner plate. We've seen the big picture plan for the DASH diet, but now let's get into the details of the food groups and understand why they work so well.
Think of these food groups as a team, where every player has a really important job. You've got potassium from fruits and veggies, which actively helps your body flush out extra sodium. The fiber from whole grains supports your overall heart health. Lean proteins help you feel full and manage your weight, which is a key factor. And even calcium from low-fat dairy plays a role in the system. They all work together.
Of course, building a healthy diet is just as much about what you decide to limit as it is about what you add in. So let's flip the coin and look at the other side. The biggest player on the caution list is, no surprise, sodium. And the gap between what's recommended and what a lot of us actually eat is, well, it's huge. The DASH plan aims for about 1,500 milligrams a day, but a typical diet, like the one the control group in the study ate, often has double that. All that extra sodium makes your body hold on to water, which increases the amount of blood in your system and jacks up your blood pressure. And it's not just about the salt shaker. Two other things to keep an eye on are added sugar and alcohol. Foods and drinks with tons of sugar can lead to weight gain, and that's a major risk factor for hypertension. At the same time, too much alcohol can directly raise your blood pressure over time. With both of these, moderation is really the name of the game. And finally, a special shout out for energy drinks. We really have to be careful with these. It's not just one ingredient, it's the intense cocktail they create. You've got super high levels of caffeine mixed with other stimulants like taurine and guarana, and then it's all loaded up with sugar. That combo can cause a really sharp, sudden spike in your heart rate and blood pressure. For anyone trying to manage hypertension, these are definitely something to avoid. So, to wrap this all up, let's boil it down to a simple 3-step action plan. First, start adopting the principles of the DASH diet. Just focus on shifting the balance towards more fruits, veggies, and whole grains. Second, try bringing some of those power sips into your routine. And third, just be more mindful about cutting back on sodium, added sugars, and alcohol. At the end of the day, managing your blood pressure with food isn't about being perfect. It's just about being intentional. Every single meal, every snack, every drink, it's a chance to make a choice that supports your health for the long run. The power really is on your plate.